Okay, in this lesson we're going to take a look at using subdivisions in Zbrush. So one of the great kind of big selling points of Zbrush is that we can use multiple subdivisions and kind of move up and down through them. Let me kind of show you what I mean. So right now we have about 8,000 faces or 8,000 pixels, which roughly translates, I believe, to about 16,000 faces. And let me turn this to a polymesh 3D. Turn on my symmetry. And if I start doing some heavy sculpting, I'm obviously going to run out of resolution pretty quick, just like I would in Maya or really any other package. Now, in ZBrush, I can add subdivisions the same way I would in Maya. I can go here to my Geometry tab, and I can go ahead and hit Divide. And you can see it's gone ahead and gone up to 33,000 now, and I can do some smoother sculpting. I can divide again, and it gets even smoother. And ZBrush can actually go into about 50, 60, 70 million polygons. You can get quite a bit of detail in here. Now, once you get to these higher resolutions, it can be very hard to make small scale changes. Or, excuse me, actually large scale changes. Small stuff is easy. And for that reason, it allows us to actually move up and down the levels. For example, I could drop down to level 1, make some changes in here. Maybe I'll actually use my move brush. I'll discuss this more in our tutorial on brushes. I'll go ahead and make some adjustments here. I have no idea what I'm making. It's not really anything. There we go. And now I can move back up my subdivision, and you could see everything is just as we left it. As a matter of fact, I can even add detail. Let's say I grab my... don't really want the blob brush. I want something like this crumple brush. So I'm going to add some kind of crumple detail to my model over here. Okay. All right, so I've got all that detail in there. Let's say, though, that I now want to obviously make some large-scale changes, change the proportions. If I were to drop down levels, maybe grab my move brush. Go ahead and find that. There we go. Maybe move these back in a bit. Maybe bring that back down. If I move back up now, you'll see it's preserved all of that crumple detail. Now, obviously, in places that get compressed, we might have some degradation of the detail, but overall, it's saved everything. This allows us to actually work at high res and low res at the exact same time, and really is, in my opinion, one of the biggest selling points of ZBrush. So you can imagine that if I'm doing some build-up, sculpting volume, stuff like that, sometimes it'd be just much easier to work at a low res where it's easy to block out and smooth things, where we don't have to worry about pushing a large amount of geometry. Smoothing works so much quicker at these low reses. And then we could always jump back up and our detail is still there. You can see it even preserved it over here in this little ridge that I'd sculpted. So that's a look at using subdivisions. Don't think there's really anything else I want to cover on them. They're pretty straightforward. I guess a nice thing is that if you hold Shift or press Shift D, that moves down through them. Pressing D moves up through them, and Control D subdivides again. So be careful with that one. You can see I'm up to 525,000. But again, ZBrush can handle a lot. I'm at 3 million right now, and you can see it still sculpts very quickly. And I can still move down all the way to the first SubDiv level. No problems. Okay, so that's a look at subdivision levels. We'll go over, I believe in the next tutorial, I think I might cover some Dynamesh. We'll see. Anyway, we're done for now.